Hello friends, so today we'll see accounting. As per modern accounting, what are the account types and what are the rules for the debit and credit? So as per modern accounting, okay, so there are six type of accounts. So six types of accounts. So first one is asset, next is liability, third is capital, fourth is revenue, fifth is expenses, and the sixth one is drawings. Okay, so we'll go one by one. So the first one is asset. So in this case the rule is if it increases it will be debit, and if it is decreases it will be credit. Okay, so we can take an example. We have purchased one furniture value 5,000. So in this case we have purchased 5,000 for cash, paid cash in this case. So in this case furniture value increased, but and we have paid cash. So in this case furniture will be debit, furniture account debit to cash. So you can see furniture is an asset which is increased, we have debited it, and cash is also an asset, we have credited it as the value decreases. So if you are selling an furniture, sold furniture or so furniture 2000. Okay, in this case we have received cash value of 2000, and as we have sold the furniture goes out of our organization, the value decreases, so we have credited. Asset as like cash value increases, we have debited. So the rule is asset increases debit, if it is decreases that is credit. Okay, so we are now moving to next part, liability. So in the liability case, if it increases, okay, it will be credit, and if it decreases it will be debit. Okay, so that means if the liability value increases it will be credit. So you can take an example. We have taken a loan of 10,000. Okay, so in this case loan we have taken, so we can, and we have received the cash of 10,000. Okay, so as we receive the cash we can see asset increases, so it will be debit for 10,000, and we have the loan will be credited. Okay, so we can take another example that we have paid the loan of 5,000. Okay, that means cash is paid. Okay, so in this case the loan liability is decreased, so we have debiting the loan to cash of 5,000. Okay, so the rule is if the liability is increasing we have to credit it, if it is decreasing we have to debit it. So next part is capital. Okay, so for capital the rule is if it increases it will be credit, if it decreases it will be debit. Okay, capital means the contribution by the owners fund. Okay, owners whatever he is contributing we are referring as capital. So for example one business, Ram has started the business with 10,000 or 1 lakh for example. So in this case then 1 lakh we have received, the business has received, that means cash account would be debited to capital. Okay, 1 lakh. So if the capital value is decreasing, so it will be credited, sorry, debited. So increasing in capital will be credit, decrease in capital will be debit. Okay, so that for that decreasing we can take an example. So for example, when loss has incurred, so capital account debit to the loss, overall profit loss, there is a loss incurred for the current particular year, so in that case we can decrease the capital. Okay, so the details we will discuss later, but I am just showing an example. If the capital is decreasing, it should be debited. So the fourth one is revenue. Okay, for revenue the rule is, if it increases it will be credit, if it is decreases it will be debit. So for revenue we can take an example. Sales is a revenue. So sales, for example, we have sold the goods for 10,000, so we have received the cash. So in this case, cash account is debited to sales. Okay, and uh, if there is a decrease in the revenue, it will be debit. Okay, so for example, I will take another example. For example, we have received on rent for 10,000, and later get to know that we have to refund 2,000 rupees to that customer due to some reason. Okay, so when we received it, it will be cash account debit to rent, correct, but when we are refunding it, it will be, we are paying the rent, cash to the tenant. So in this case, whatever rent we have received, it is income, not expenses. So rent account we are debiting to cash. So that means we are decreasing the rent income of 2,000. Okay, so the next one is expenses. So in this case, if it is increases, it will be debit, if it is decreases, it will be credit. So expenses we can take example. Okay, for example, we have purchased some stationery for 1,000 rupees. So we have paid the cash, right? So stationery account debit to cash 10,000. So in this case you can see, as we incurred an expenses, it will be debit. So if you are decreasing the expenses, it will be credit. So for example, we have some defect or something, we are refunding the some part of the stationery, and we have received the cash. So in this case, as we are receiving the cash will be debit. For example, we have received for 200, and as we are decreasing the stationery value of 2,000, so as we are decreasing the stationery value, it will be credit. Okay, that means expenses, if it is increasing, it will be debit, if it is decreasing, it will be credit. So the last one is drawings. Okay, drawings means like if owner is withdrawing some amount from the capital, that can be called as drawings. For example, Ram has started business with 1 lakh, but due to some urgency or something, he has withdrawn some 5,000 rupees. That can be called as drawings. Okay, so if the drawings it increases, it will be debit, if it is decreases, it will be So if drawings happen, so for example Ram has drawn 5,000, so business has paid the cash, drawing account debit to cash. Okay, and for example he has refunded that money of 2,000, so we can mention as cash account debit to drawings of 2,000. So in this case, if it is increases debit, decreases credit. That's for it for the day. Thank you.